Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to some weekend messages along with the Gemini new moon, or excuse me, the Gemini full moon reading. So I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently today. Hello if you are watching live on Facebook, and hello if you're watching the replay on YouTube. So I have some oracle cards, and then I'll start out with that and then go into the full moon reading. And here's the deal. I'm just going to pull one card for each sign. So it's not going to be the big circle today, but we will definitely go through that. And I'm just pulling some messages for the weekend, and then we will get back to regular programming as of Monday. And hello, hello. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Colleen. And, oh, yes, don't forget I still have my offer going on for every tarot spread that you get. You also get a free oracle card reading along with it. So that's going until the end of the month. Take advantage of that while there is still time. And I'm just going to pull a couple of these. Okay, so the first thing coming up, we know each other. I like this card because it really helps to remind you that everything you want already exists. The things that you need, the resources that you would like to require, they're already out there. They're already accessible to you. It's not something that you have to fight and scrap for. It's something that's already in existence right now. So make sure that you're getting yourself in alignment with those things that you want. All right, and then we also have enhance. So this is indigo. I think that this is going to be a really great time to refine, to reflect, and that in essence is going to give you the right information that you need in order to enhance whatever it is that you're looking to create. Or maybe you're checking in with yourself now that the year is winding down. Maybe you're setting your intentions, getting ready for 2019. And so you're kind of looking at your life and trying to figure out, how can I enhance what I already have? How can I enhance all the goodness that I already have around me, and then just cultivate more? Because that's how you do it. If you only focus on the negative, it's going to be really hard for good things to make their way to you. Whereas if you flip it around and start leading with the gratitude aspect, start leading with the abundance that you already have, then you're going to be golden. That's where the floodgates start to open. And then I love my food loves me. How appropriate. So remember that all of the things that you put into your body, there's an intention with that. So it doesn't matter what the substance is. It doesn't matter if it's food. This is kind of, I'm looking at this as a catch-all. It's kind of like the way you're replenishing your body, the way you are giving to yourself is a form of love or not. So make sure you're paying really close attention to how things are making you feel. Maybe you're noticing that you're a little bit more sensitive to things than you were in the past. Whatever it is, this is just showing that you kind of have this energy around what you're putting into your body that's popping up. All right, let's do another flower card. I happened to grab both of those decks when I was picking out the cards for this evening. So we have wisdom popping up, and one of the, sorry if it's a bit dark, I'm filming at night, so it's not nearly as bright as I usually have. One of the things that I've really enjoyed working with lately has been the idea that the wisdom that you're looking for, the things that you're craving are already, like, you already know them, but the whole job of being on earth is to remember them. So it's not about learning, it's not about being punished with these lessons, it's not like that. Even though you experience learning, that is true, it's mostly remembering is what you're actually doing. The whole thing is when we're born, we forget all of the information from previous lifetimes, previous experiences. And so that's why you're regaining a lot of the wisdom that you may have left over any period of time. Let's pull some Sovereign Oracle. And then remember this deck, I know I use this quite a bit. There are 3 phrases on these cards, so if there's one that stands out to you most, then that is the message that you are most aligned with and need to hear. So let's see what's popping up first. Expression. Let's see, it's kind of hard for me to read. Your creative soul beckons you to create something tangible. Wait no longer. What you wish to make wishes you to make it. Tell us the truth with beauty. Okay, so I'm gonna let that one speak for itself. I want your intuition to kind of shine through with that card. I think whatever you heard, that's it. And then we have mobilize. Inspire others to action. Find the will to get it done. Don't wait for your tribe. Create it. So this is a nice take action card. It's like all those things that you've been putting off, all of those things that you've been waiting for the right time. The time is now. Now is the best time to initiate. It's kind of like there's no guarantee of the future and nothing's ever going to be perfect. So the best way to mitigate that is to just dive in. And then we have connection. Explore the commonalities, seek out your perfect fit collaborators and instigators. Focus less on how it will be done and more who you would love to do it with. So this is kind of taking the pressure off of the outcome and instead focusing on flow. So I think there's a strong emphasis on a yin approach for the weekend. Thinking about things a little bit more abstractly is probably going to be a big help. And especially with that, who you'd love to do it with. Like, who would you like to serve? What would you like to experience? What are the things that you're calling into your space? Because remember, you're never not creating. The only thing that happens is you're either actively creating or passively creating. You're actively manifesting or passively manifesting. And if there's anything that's going to serve you best, it's active manifestation or active creation, because you actually have control over that. If you're being passive, then it makes it a lot harder to dictate what comes into your space and what doesn't. And hello to everybody who's hopping on. Now I'm just gonna do a little base here with these cards, and then we'll go into the sign by sign reading for the Gemini full moon. And let me know in the comments, how was this moon for you guys? Are you exhausted? I slept like the dead, personally, but how are you guys feeling? What's going on? What did you learn? Tell me about it. Okay, so the central energy, we have the moon. I appreciate the sense of humor that this deck has. It's like, yep, we're just kind of riding out this moon that we just had. And the crossing energy is the sun. So remember that whatever it is that you've experienced, whatever sensitivities that you have coming up, or ambiguity, or kind of that, there's almost like a dreamy Neptune energy to this. especially this moon, it's kind of like what you're experiencing now is going to be met with the light, the brightness, the vitality, the answers that you're looking for. And so this isn't a good time to like set anything in stone. It's kind of a good time to dream and think and construct and be a little bit more fluid in that area, because then it's all going to come to light. You're going to get the answers, you're going to get the clarity, you're going to get the things that you need, because the sun and the moon, this is a really nice coupling to see here in the central energy. It's kind of like this is going to calm down, and then you're going to be met with the ahas and the inspiration and the continuation of what you want to do. So if you're feeling extra tired, it's going to pass. What's shifting out? The Hermit. All right, so that hiding or retreat energy is what is leaving maybe that meditative state. And this is also one of those energies that's like, okay, yeah, you've thought about it enough. Okay, you can start to kind of come out a little bit more and really take action on things. That's why we had the expression, mobilize, and connection. You're coming out of this introspective state, you've thought about it enough, and now you're able to kind of use what you've learned so far to understand your next steps. But you have to take the first one in order to understand the second. And the oncoming energy, we have the Five of Swords. So letting go of perfect pictures, I think that this has more to do with perfection or perfectionism than anything else. So it's kind of like you have to break that down, because things may not be exactly what you're imagining or exactly what you want or expect them to be. This is going to, it's really going to have to do with you realizing the gift in the way things are playing out. It's just that you can't always see it right away. So there's a little bit of clearing out energy, but I think it's just because there's so many ideas that are happening. There's so much that's kind of being propped up right now that there's, you know, some of it's going to have to shed and be broken down. And then I am pulling the astrology cards, or the by sign cards. So don't forget, watch your sun, moon, and rising. I'm going to be starting with Gemini. I'm not doing the regular circle. I'm just going to put them in rows. So let's see. And these, I mean, we're going to be riding out the full moon energy. I mean, it's different for everybody, but you can capitalize on this moon even though it was last night. It doesn't really matter. It kind of lingers for a while. Okay. So we're going to start with Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. This is your card. So, Nine of Earth, Nine of Pentacles. And this is just like enjoying the fruits of your labor. Like you've worked really hard. I think that this is, now don't bust out all the credit cards during a Mercury retrograde, please. But I do think that this would be a really great time to treat yourself or create some type of incentive for yourself. Like, ooh, when I hit X goal, I'll get this treat. Or whatever it is that you want. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of about the enjoyment, the pleasure, the enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's going to be so helpful for the flow of resources. And then Cancer, Temptation. This is the devil. Okay, so I think that beware of unconscious behaviors, beware of checking out, beware of, you know, wanting to go on autopilot. This isn't really a good time to do that. It's going to serve you better to be really intentional, even if it's something simple like watching Netflix or eating food. It's just about being super mindful all the way through this. That's going to help you understand what's going on a little bit better. I think that this moon may have put you more into your emotions than anything else. And the best thing that you can do with this energy is just kind of recognize it and then build intention and structure around it. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Queen of Water. So this is definitely bringing up some, how do I put this? Your emotional state is dominant with this moon, and it's kind of funny because it's an air moon. You wouldn't really expect that, but it seems like it's highlighting your emotional processes. And sometimes when there's a void of that, that's when they're highlighted the most. It's like you can't see through it until you go without. And that's what you have popping up here with the Queen of Water, or the Queen of Cups, is just that, you know, okay, I've been in my head, or like the base reading was, you've thought about it, you've percolated with it, now you have to take action. Now you have to align with all of the information that you have. And one of the ways that you come into alignment is by recognizing what emotions are showing up for you. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We have the Fool. So this is like a fresh start. I think this 0-degree moon was really nice for you. You just kind of have a fresh perspective. Like wherever this moon hit your house was a serious clean sweep, because this is all able to, or it's allowing you to create a new beginning in the best way possible. I think there's something about it being like a charge ahead. I don't know. I think it has something to do with that horn right there, if you can see that. But it's kind of like the sounding horn, like, yes, you're moving in the right direction. Yes, you want to take action on all those things that you've been thinking about. Yes, 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 keep it up. So just be open to all this goodness that you can start anew with. Libra, we have the Tower, breakdown, breakthrough. Okay, so this is, I like this Tower because it's intact, and that's always a good sign. But there's a lot to, there's a lot to learn from all of this information, or remember, as we talked about earlier. There's a lot to remember from just the insight that has popped up in this moon. So I think it's more about dismantling what you thought was true, or what you thought was right, or what you thought was best practice. I think you're stepping away from that and having the realization of, oh, I think there's actually a third path here. It's not quite so black and white. It's not the way you may have perceived it to be. This is actually showing you another avenue, and that's what the Tower pushes you to do, is not stick to what you thought was ideal, best, right, or true. Break that down and go around, or deviate from what you thought was the best thing for you. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The World. Big movement for you. I think that there's a lot, and mostly why this is showing up as big movement is because it's like, this is showing planets. Like, it's not just a little tweak. It's monumental change. It's significant change. This isn't something that's like peanuts relative to everything else you have going on. This is like, no, you're breaking through to new ground with this full moon. So it's definitely the element of releasing with this full moon is absolutely present here, and the world is kind of helping you to see that. And I think wherever you're going next is gonna make a lot of sense for you. So it doesn't matter what it is or what area of life it is. It's just about recognizing the changes that have popped up. And then we have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Page of Fire. So it's like you're kicking off your season with just that renewed sense of self, that vibrant energy that you have coming through. And this is interesting because there's a little bit of angst that I'm reading here. Like maybe you're a little bit quicker to snap. You might find yourself being a little bit moody as well. It's definitely a pop-off energy that I'm reading here. And that's not a bad thing. It's just like figure out a way to channel this fire, because its reading is really intense for you, and it's kind of that dreamy, sleepy, going 20,000 feet deep Scorpio energy that we've had for the past month, and now it's just like you're bringing in the fire. So find a way to funnel that into something that works for you rather than against you. That's the piece of advice coming here. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. 10 of Earth, 10 of Pentacles, get back to work. I'm just teasing, but it's really focused on foundation. That's where all of this cerebral energy is helping you, is the foundation of what you're building, what you want to construct, what you're doing moving forward, what your long-term game plan and vision is. That's what this is showing to you. So I think that this is going to be a really great weekend, and just energy to kind of capitalize on planning. Plan it out, map it out for yourself, and this is going to be a good time to do that, because it seems like the energy is right, and I think if you set the intention now, it's going to be really helpful. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ace of Fire. So this is also a renewed sense of energy, very similar to how like the Page of Fire, that bringing it all back with everything, kind of like the aha, and feeling like you're coming back online. I think that's what this is all about. And you might find that you're better able to invest in the things that you want right now, and I think you should absolutely take advantage of that, because we don't always have good times to pour a lot of energy into something, but I think you have it right now, so use it wisely. Okay, and then Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Two of Earth, or Two of Pentacles. So I think that there's a lot of contemplation here around what you're doing next, where you're going, and so I would say slow down a bit. It's like, don't jump to conclusions right now. There's no need to decide right this moment. I think you can consider all the factors. You can marinate with it. You can sit with it. I don't think there's going to be any significant downfall to you taking a moment to breathe and kind of sort through things mentally. Just sit in the contemplation energy and see what happens, because it won't stay that way forever. I think if you just kind of lean into it, let yourself do that, then you're going to see the breakthrough as a result of the contemplation. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The Hermit. Okay. What are you... Okay. Here's what I'll say about the Hermit for you. I'm actually reading this as some escape energy, like not wanting to confront something head on, which is weird for you. So this just looks like there's some retreat happening, and I would recommend that you ask yourself why. What's happening? Is there a block? Is there a resistance? Is there something that you're avoiding? Is ego getting in the way? Are you slowing down out of fear? Like this looks like just kind of slamming the door and throwing away the key. But I don't think that's the end of the story. I think it's just a piece of something that's much larger at play. So ask yourself, get curious. That's how you remedy the Hermit, because sometimes the Hermit can be really useful, and then other times the Hermit is escaping. So think about it. What's causing it? Just ask yourself the question, and pay attention to your intuitive hits this weekend. And last but not least, we have Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ace of Air. So get your notebook out. Any ideas that you have, jot them down. Write down every single idea, because that is going to help you in the coming months. I would say this seems to be extending beyond the weekend. I think it's more about things you're going to take action on later. You might not find a great deal of energy with that right now. It seems more conceptual than anything else. So don't put too much pressure on yourself in terms of, you know, having all the answers or knowing how or anything like that. Just think about things and jot down everything that you can and go from there later on. All right, so let's see. Should we do a 3-card pick? I'm trying to find another deck that I can use for this. Hold on. I feel like it's not a true reading without a 3-card pick for me. Okay. So go ahead if there's an intention that you want to set, if you just want some advice, if you would like to ask a question, go ahead and do that now. All right, and card number 1. We have the Sun. Vitality, vibrance, a lot of clarity this week. Because this is actually looking like it's something that's going to build. I don't think it's just this weekend, although it might be. I think it's really going to be percolating, and then you're going to feel like oh, right, I'm back where I wanted to be, or I'm back in that space that makes sense to me. So you're on the right track. Just take good care of yourself this weekend and into next week. Be gentle, because it's coming. And then card number 2, we have the Knight of Coins. If you're feeling a little bit more guarded than usual, I mean, there are times and spaces where we do that. I'm reading this as you kind of having your shield up, kind of like waiting for that blast, or like waiting for something to go wrong, or filling in all the blanks. There's something really defensive about this. So if you're finding a lot of your defense mechanisms kicking in, it's okay. We all have them. Just remember that you can really soften this. It's not something that you have to feed into all the time. It's something that you can just kind of acknowledge is there, acknowledge it's doing what was once its job, and just stay curious, and you don't have to let it sit in the driver's seat the entire time. There's a happy medium there. And card number 3, we have the Page of Cups. So leading with your emotions, leading with your desires, leading with things that feel good and bring joy and happiness. That's kind of the catch-all solution, you know, having a sense of humor, keeping it light. That's what the Page of Cups is really gifted